Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another indie comic book review. And this week, apologies in advance, this review is probably going to be going up more towards the early afternoon on Sunday instead of the morning on Sunday. That's all due to the fact that the comic book haul was late due to the fact that our comics came a day later, so everything's kind of pushed forward because the rendering, we actually had to stop it to shoot this video because all of our digital comics are on the computer, and when you render a video with this program, it slows the whole computer down, and we need to be able to see the books. So apologies again in advance for the late review, but it's still on the same day. And the comic review for DC and Marvel, both those videos should be up on time. I'm really glad you guys are enjoying the new format. And again, we have no physical copies this week. This is a strictly digital review. Only 10 digital books this week also. It's a very short week. And there was actually one physical copy, but that was Grim Fairy Tales 96. And for those of you that didn't see the update video, or as I stated in the update video, all the books from Zenescope, all the books from Transformers, and all the books from Star Wars are being moved off of the indie review, and they're all getting their own special videos at the end of the month where we'll recap everything from Zenescope, everything from Star Wars, and everything from Transformers, even though Transformers only has 3 books. There is actually something very special with Transformers, which you guys will see when the video comes up at the end of the month. So that's something for you guys to look forward to at the end of the month.
Yep.
But until then, let's talk about the books in the here and the now. Like I said, 10 digital books. First one is going to be an honorable mention because it's a guilty pleasure, and it's Garfield issue number 24. I love the first story with Nermal. I love when it's a Nermal story because it's hilarious to see what that cat does to poor Garfield. Then the second story came, and I was like, here we go. The second story is about Liz, a fairy, and no Garfield. It was the weirdest thing I've read to date in a Garfield book. I don't know what happened to Garfield.
History, I don't even know why they would put Liz in the story. I mean, yeah, she's with John, but a story about her necessary?
I don't know what's going on with Garfield ever since issue number what? What issue did we? Issue number 14, I believe, or so, where there was a secondary, where the secondary stories had new artists.
It was 14.
About 4, somewhere around there, where I started to read it digitally because of the secondary stories, artwork, and stuff. I don't know what's gone on, but I used to like it when it was the same artist doing 2 different stories in the Garfield book. Now it's like it went from different artwork to a completely different story, and I'm not saying that the second story takes away from Garfield, but at the same time, there's so much more potential. Like when Garfield first started with the first 10 issues, where it was the same artist and it was like a Garfield-centric story, that I kind of feel bad that the secondary stories kind of take away from the book. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but once again, this is a guilty pleasure. Let's jump into Dynamite really quickly. We have 2 books from Dynamite, and 1 book is yours.
Yes.
And that is The Shadow Year 1, issue number 8.
Yes.
What did you think of The Shadow Year 1, number 8?
The Shadow Year 1, it was more along the lines of people looking for the Shadow because, there was these crime scenes that have been going on, and they wanted me face to face with the Shadow. And of course, the Ring actually plays a very interesting part in this, and I was actually waiting for when that was going to happen, but that happens further on in the issue. But go into this, there are these 2 people who are looking for the Shadow because of killing spree that's been happening, and this laugh that he gives off actually signifies that it's the Shadow and everything. So they try to find out answers about where and how to find the Shadow. And it's really like long dialogue. The artwork is classically drawn, amazing. And right there in the middle scene, like I told you about, the Ring actually shows like some type of...
I like the artwork change in this book.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out... It's like a... Wait, go up a little bit? Like they were showing like the sign, go down, like right there. It's the Ton War banner. For those of you who are familiar with that, it basically has something to do with some stuff.
Conflict, declaration of conflict with outsiders.
Exactly, and that actually plays into the story of, what's going on in the situation. So they do find, well, they actually don't find the Shao. They actually find a message that Shao wanted to give to the people who were looking for him, and let's just say it ended in decapitation in the end.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go into that fully detailed.
Very dark final page, that's for sure.
Yeah, but it's very interesting. I'm enjoying the Shadow Year 1, and looking forward to seeing more issues, as well as the Ring, because the Ring, I just like how they actually brought that into the comic book, because I want to see how that was going to play out, and that's actually a good thing they brought that. Next
is my book, Mark Waid's Green Hornet. Or now they're just calling it The Green Hornet, issue number 11. And this issue, Lieutenant Dugan is going down a very dark, twisted path, and I have a feeling this is going to play a huge role in problems heading the Green Hornet's way. So the Green Hornet claims that Vito Cirelli, well, he was a traitor, he's dead, and now he's taking over all the mobs, all the underground stuff going on in the state. However, we all know that the Green Hornet really isn't really a bad guy. This is all a front. What he's using all these mobs for is to find out the code that Cirelli was using, to find a code book or something, because those are the German words, and it's going, and of course this is all about the, I forgot what they were called, I want to use the right word here. No, not the distributed. What is it? Secret code for saboteurs.
Yeah, he wears a mask. I thought he wore.
Green Hornet always wore a mask. Yeah. So he wants to know about. He wants to get to the saboteurs and stop them because they're a threat to America, obviously. So he stops all the gangs from doing all their work. All he wants is that book, so he's able to, save the day.
Right.
But of course, he's making himself look like this huge mob head now. However, once again, Dugan is going down a dark path. You want to know what it is? Read the book. And you could just see that Dugan's really losing it. First, he's looking into Fulton, who is the Green Hornet's captive right now. Everybody believes he's dead. He's not. And Lieutenant Dugan goes in and says, I found out he has a daughter. Maybe we should check on her. And the only reason Dugan wants to do that is because he wants to, with the daughter. And then he tries to take money from the Green Hornet. And the Green Hornet's like, I don't know what's going on with you or what you're doing. Are you in this for me, for the operation, or just for yourself? And then it turns out that he had, I forgot what her name was, Casey, go in to check on Fulton's daughter, and she's actually got the mask. She's working basically for the Green Hornet.
Yeah,
and
that's
they actually see
costume.
The Green Hornet's car. And she goes to the police and says that she has the feeling that the Hornets captured her father and not really, he's not really dead. Unfortunately, she's talking to Lieutenant Dugan, and guess what Lieutenant Dugan does? Takes her right to the Green Hornet. Whole conversation happens, and then there's a huge twist at the end of this book where Dugan says, Hornet's like, what the hell did you do? He's like, I'm just following in your footsteps, boss. You want to know what he did? Do you want to know the crazy shit he did in the end of this issue?
That's not.
You gotta read it to believe it, because it left even the Green Hornet in shock.
Yeah, I could tell by the expression.
So it's going to be very interesting to see where things move along from here, from that point on. Now, I want to see. All right, let's do this book, which was Mike's.
Isn't this Dynamite also?
Yes, thank you. Oh, yeah. Good Lord, thank you.
Yeah.
You read through most of this. Yeah. Ash and the Army of Darkness, issue number 5. I would have missed that. That would have been so bad. I think everything else is Image and... Oh, no, there's one IDW. Okay,
I believe so, but
yeah. I got it. Yeah.
But Ash and the Army of Darkness, this issue is mostly focused on the book that Ash has.
Everybody wants the book.
Yeah, he teams up with Arthur, and there's this Reaper girl who really wants the book. And she's doing everything in her power to get the book, where Ash is saying, he doesn't want to give the book because...
Not her. That's a gigantic Ash monster.
Well, yeah, the one that transforms, my mistake. And the big monster wants the book, and he's like saying, "No, no, this is my book." And then after a while,
Ash's chainsaw gets stuck in his head. That was a good move by Ash.
Yeah, but after a while, he was saying, he just gives him the book after a while, after he fights through all.
No, he gives the wizard the book.
Really, I thought he gave.
No, he gave the wizard the book, and then the gigantic Ash went crashing into the wizard.
Okay, and then okay, I had that a little bit mixed up. Yeah, the big monster meets up with the wizard who has the book, and then he takes the book away from the wizard after, well, doing. If you want to read the book, you can definitely read it. So after that whole big thing right there, yeah, things just.
Let's just say Ash went to get his chainsaw and the book back.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't do a Hail to the King moment there, because of, the move that he did there. But
just when things look up, things go down.
Yeah, and in the ending, I think Ash is gonna have a bigger challenge than he had from this issue in the next issue, and that's to be continued if you want to find out who this person is. I love the artwork. The artwork hasn't disappointed me at all when I've read Ash in the Army of Darkness. And I like how the story's actually playing, because it's really just all about the book. I mean, the book just has so many answers and so many different things. It's just a big, huge plot of the whole story, just that part alone.
Alright, let's do the one IDW book we have first, which is Rogue Trooper, issue number 2.
That's all this book to be all over the place, sort of. Like, not in a bad way. Like, it talks about, like, in the last issue where these armies want to go after the Rogue Trooper to bring him in, dead or alive. And Rogue Trooper is with his friend there. I keep forgetting. He called him something, a bag, whatever. Like, or something like
Rothwell?
that. Rothwell? Maybe
it's me, Rothwell.
No, that's a person who was friends with him. Yeah, and he goes into the ship where they invite them in and everything, and there's like a mission. I think maybe Gunner. It could have been, like, I thought it was something else, but the Rogue Trooper that was called in by Gunner's friend is actually asking him for a mission, because he's like one of the last people who was last on land, and there's like a whole big dialogue of what happened in the past, and then it just goes all over the place. Like, I try to concentrate and figure out what's going on, but I don't know, like, it just felt like Rogue Trooper was just, with his talking hat and talking backpack, of course, just doing the mission that they actually asked him to do. And it just goes a little bit out of control, where he actually, he gets a gun and everything and just gets ready for what's to come and everything. And he does everything in a destructive way, as we know about him, which is what I see a big interest in that character. But in the next issue, we find out that there is more to one thing that the Rogue Trooper may or may not handle. And if you want to find out what it is in the last issue, just read the book for yourself and find out. Like, I'm not sure if I'll give it like a half and half average, because I just felt it was all over the place. I mean, the artwork was good, and maybe the story could be just one straight road ahead.
Next issue is from Image.
Yeah.
And that is Revival issue number 19.
Yeah, and in this issue, first goes to the old man with the dog who actually ran away from him from last issue, and we find out that there's a spirit of some type inside the dog that actually is very harmful, and we really don't get much of what it is, kinda. Like, I don't know, maybe it happened in previous issues and I wasn't aware of it, but it was a really, I felt bad for the old man that his dog died and everything, and that was just really something else. Then there was this second part of it where this guy gets fined for pooping on a guy's property, and he finishes it off by doing something else. But then this third case was really something that got me interesting. Like, this woman asks Abraham, however you say his name, to find who murdered her little sister. And at first he didn't want to do it, but then after he finds out from her back that there's a big, huge infection that needs to be cured, and he's telling her that she didn't tell the father yet about his daughter dying because it would really hurt him. And it was a really emotional scene there where Abraham's like saying, you know, with all this that you just told me, I'll definitely help you. Because he wasn't at first, interested in doing that, but after seeing the other side of the story, he actually did that. And then there's this other story that happens too. It goes case by case, really, in different story scenarios. Where there's this girl who goes to a elderly home or something. I don't know if it's an elderly home or a foster home, and she's trying to really fit into it, but this girl who she refers to as like a cafeteria lady, even though she's not really a cafeteria lady, that's just a nickname that she gave her, was really someone that she couldn't really get along with. Like she's more of like a darker person, and then she meets up with this guy
who dresses like
Jesus, but his name is actually what's his name? Go down more actually. His name is Rhodey. And we probably get more about him in the next issue. So then the girl calls one of the guys who's babysitting her brother, because she's a police officer, by the way. The girl who's looking for the investigation of her little sister's murder, and she finds out more information from this drunk driver. Then afterwards she meets up with her father, and it's more of a touching story. I really don't want to give too much away in this story because it really gives a lot more of what we should know in this issue that leads into the next issue. Like that's all I can say. I really don't want to just spoil or give away too much because it's just one of those stories where it was really touching and emotional, especially in her case with her little sister's murder.
So this is your book of the week.
Yeah, this is my book of the week, definitely.
Starlight, issue number 2.
And in the last issue, we find out a weird mystery spaceship has entered into an old man's property who was once a hero in the other planet. And it's a little boy who actually goes to him from the other planet saying that there's a mission that we need you. Like, we need you there because there's something that happened on the planet. And he talks about and discusses about it to him. And he's like saying, you do realize I'm such and such years old, I can't really do it anymore. Because that was like 40 somewhat years ago, I believe he said it was. I think it's like 63 as of now. So it talks about that like right there. Like I can't really see, the printing's a little small. Like he thought that what he did wrong.
Typhoon's dead.
Yeah, he thought that the typhoon was dead, but apparently there was a way that the typhoon got resurrected and really didn't die. So the little boy asks him that he is the only one that knows its weakness and that may be able to defeat it. And he's like saying, look, I really don't want to because I'm just too old. But then after a while, thinking about like all of the stuff that's happened and everything, and trying out his costume, he's like saying, you know what, maybe I should give it one more try. Maybe the other world really does need me. So he agrees to go with him in the spaceship. The funniest scene is when he tries to drive it and things go a little bit haywire. He's like saying, let's try this again. Because I just found that to be just hilarious. But then he got the hang of it again. It gave me that Independence Day moment. Will Smith couldn't learn how to drive the thing. I thought that was funny. But it gave me that moment there. So in the spaceship, they go at hyperspeed to dodge the Army aircrafters. And they go into the dimension where we see the typhoons invading the world with all that other stuff. So he's there, and what he sees is a real big shocker from where he last left is now just really all chaos. And I want to know how this is gonna play. They left me on a huge cliffhanger right there.
Oh yeah.
Just right there, like they entered the planet, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you left me on a cliffhanger. Book of the week. Definitely read Starlight. It is a really awesome comic book series, and to find out more information too, that is. So
let's go into the last book that you and I didn't read, and that's we're
Well,
now
I
in
read
Dark
this.
Horse, Lobster Johnson, issue number 3 of 5, or Get
Yes.
the Lobster.
yeah, so there's this big. So they interview. I think her name is Debbie.
Mm-hmm.
Of you know, like the detectives suspect. You know, we know that the lobster met you and talked to you about such and such, because remember the newspaper series that she did.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to deny it, saying like, you know, there was nothing really going on because there's a high streak of crime rates ever since the lobster came into business. So she realized that when she went in the next day, that she had missing notebooks and everything else. Like basically, Lobster Johnson, he took it, but there's one book that he really shouldn't keep, which the butler tells him about. But you can read the story more into it to actually see. So it's like really dark, this comic issue. I mean, it has been for the past issue, 2 issues that I've read, mentioning this as the 3rd issue. And he just goes around doing his thing, you know, like doing it for the better. But what the police don't know is that he's doing it for the, like, this is how he solves justice. His justice is just shooting.
So it's like the Punisher.
Not really like the Punisher. Like, he has reasons of why he's doing it. The Punisher, he just shoots them. But he does it for justice, Lobster Johnson. Punisher just does it just because of what happened to his family. So there's like a little bit of a difference. Similarities is a good point that you brought up. But there is a major difference between the both of them. But
No, I meant that.
oh, this one? I think we have time. Yeah. What I say it's recommended, up to you guys if you're reading the past 3 issues of Lobster Johnson, and up to you if you want to read the comic book, but I'd say give it a chance.
Angel and Faith, Season 10, issue number 1.
Oh my god.
Holy crap, this was awesome. For those of you that missed Season 9, don't read this issue. Read Season 9 first, because major spoilers are about to come out of Season 10, issue 1.
This is my second book of the week.
So, Angel and Faith brought Hollis back, except he's not Giles. Why did I say Hollis? Because I just saw Hollis.
Yeah.
Bring Giles back. And the problem with Giles is he's a kid. Why? You got to read Season 9 to find out. But Giles is alive. He's a kid. Faith left Angel. They broke up as far as their partnership. And she went to bring Giles back to Buffy. And this kind of does cross over a bit with the Buffy book, because there is a scene directly from Buffy Season 10, issue 1.
I was...
and you could see... Yeah,
yeah,
and you
I was
could
just
see
told after that.
Faith is there with Giles, and then Giles sees Buffy, and that's it. Faith takes a back seat. However, in London, in Magic Town, you have Angel, who stayed in Magic Town because he's the reason why they set this humongous magic bomb off that caused this, you know, humongous outburst of mutations and monsters and whatnot. And apparently Angel's fighting this new gang of, like, fairies, but they're like demon fairies. And he helps this guy out. He says, "Hi, I'm Angel." He's like, "Wait, I know you. She warned me not to talk to you." And he ran away. Yep. And he doesn't know who she is. We find out at the end of the issue who she is, though.
I found out who, yeah.
So Angel's trying to find out more about these demon fairies. I feel bad for the guy at the beginning of the issue, because it's just like Angel Season 1, Episode 1, where he tried to save somebody. They ended up dead.
I know, right? Didn't that give you that feeling, too? I thought it was just me.
He's got the Angel luck, and again, there's the Faith part. Remember, Angel and Faith are in 2 different places right now. And Faith is doing the whole thing with Buffy where she's being left out. We all know Faith is going to go back to Angel at some point. But anyway, Angel is trying to find out information about the fairies. He ends up being led to this place where he sees a bunch of these homeless people. And then he finds out, like I said, who she is. And that's where the issue is left off. And it's definitely left off at a humongous cliffhanger for the next issue.
Definitely humongous.
Awesome. So glad to see Angel and Faith back. Especially getting over the first person on this channel that reviewed Angel and Faith. Now I've took it over and I'm reading it myself. And man, am I glad I did. Yeah. And now the final book of the week. I'm sorry we're rushing, but we only have a couple of minutes before the camera goes out. And that is Terminator Salvation, The Final Battle, issue 5 of 12. And there are so many Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 references in here. You get to see Kyle Reese go back in time. You get to see the T-800 go back in time. You get to see John Connor capture the Terminator that he's going to send back again for when he's a kid, remember? So you get to see both of those Terminators. You get to see Kyle Reese going back to the present. You get to see the entire setup.
Time travel, which kind of... they played it, the time traveling part in a good way. Not saying in a bad way like other time travels we've seen in other comic books.
But then you have Thomas Parnell, who now controls all the Terminators.
Uh-huh.
And they're getting sick and twisted. And he actually talks to Skynet alone after Dr. Kogan leaves. And he's like, did you notice that? The hesitation? You should make me, connect me and make it so that this way nobody can break, the connection. I should have a hard link with my own password, so this way nobody can stop me no matter what. And Skynet actually does that. So yeah, things are getting really dangerous. And then, like I said, the T-800 gets sent back, and then John Connor and the other rebels break in. Everybody, all the Terminators and Dr. Kogan escape, and then the rest of the book is all about Kyle Reese being sent back, and then the capturing of the other Terminator, and basically setting up for the next issue, which was awesome. But things are going bad. No present this time. All of it takes place in the future with John Connor. No past where they got Thomas Parnell. So I don't know if they're going to go back and try to prevent Thomas Parnell from being taken. If they do that, however, that would fundamentally change a lot of what's going on at the current time in the future, or in the apocalyptic future.
I like this issue actually as well.
I thought it was really good. I thought it had a lot of good references to both Terminator 1 and 2. Because
it showed understanding.
Right, because it showed the Terminator from the first movie, it showed Kyle Reese from the first movie, and it showed the capturing of the Terminator, like I said, from the second movie. Can't get any better than that. The rest of it is tons of dialogue.
Would they have to, I'm sorry to interrupt, would they have to read the other references of the comics to understand the story, or is it really not necessary?
No, not really. But I would recommend the whole series.
Well, yeah, the whole series, but I meant for them to better understand the book. Like, would you say they should read it to understand it? Or,
yeah. So again, we are almost halfway there. Next issue, we will be halfway through Terminator Salvation, the final battle. I cannot wait to see the humongous conclusion here. Will the humans finally win over Skynet, or will the battle continue?
If they do, I've got to see how. I'm psyched up about this.
I am too. So guys, that's it for this review. Short week in comics. Even for the big two, you guys are going to see in the next two episodes for DC and Marvel. It's not going to be that many books. Short week, but next week's going to be a pretty big week, so stay tuned for next week's comics. And with that, guys, that's it for this review. Don't forget to check out Comic Related and ComicFrontline.com. Together, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more, guys. Feel free to leave comments below. That's what the comment box is for. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree.
And questions.
Recommendations as well. And your comments will be replied to, or will be mentioned on this Friday, God willing, with all the shipping and everything, on the weekly comic book haul. Regardless what day it is, they will be answered and they will be acknowledged on the weekly comic book haul. I go through all the comments from this video, the weekly haul, the DC review, the Marvel review, and any other review I do on this channel. And the podcast will be coming soon, so I will be answering all your guys' comments. So feel free, if you leave a comment below, to check out this Friday's weekly comic book haul, and you will get my reply to your question or your comment or anything. So until next time, everybody, see you guys tomorrow for the big 2 reviews.
Yep.
So until then, take care, keep reading, keep collecting.
And
we'll
keep
see
watching.
you guys in the next review.
Later, guys.